All right, Shalom. This is the brother Mayum coming at you from GMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechak Wadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, of great millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Hakim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and its truth and sincerity. All right, so I just want to do a lesson pertaining to Esau, and he's going to have to pay for the things that he's done. And that which was done unto us shall be done unto him. All right, because you get a lot of 2/3 ass Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans out there who want to give get out of jail free card, man. All right, and we're gonna get into the scriptures and show you first and foremost some of the things that Esau is gonna go through. All right, because through him, these curses were brought upon us, and not only through him, but through the heathen as well. Let me find a one. I believe this is how it's spelled. No, maybe like this. Well, that Obadiah is a good one too. Let me Google it real quick. All right, because it's not just it's not just Esau who did these things. All right, here it is. Psalms 83 and 5. Alrighty. Let me just get that, because through Esau and these heathens, all right, came our curses. All right, but predominantly the main perpetrator was Esau. All right, and this is well, let me get into blue letter, because we're gonna get into that word confederacy. All right, and go and to prove how these other heathen nations consulted together with Esau, all right, to put us into slavery, all right, and to do the things that they did unto us. All right, this is Psalms 83, and I'm going to start at verse 2. It says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones." Now let's get into here. All right, because we're going to read down to verse 5, but first I want to get a couple words in verse 3 there. All right, let's read this again. Psalms 83 and 3, it says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones." All right, so let's look up this word counsel. And if I'm not mistaken, that's sawad. Sawad, if I'm not mistaken. Sawad. All right, and it says a council, assembly, secret council, familiar converse. It says Strong's definition: a session, company of persons in close deliberation. All right, consultation, a secret assembly, council, inward secret, a secret council. All right, and that's exactly what these other nations have done. They've taken a secret council, a crafty council against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. All right, meaning these nations, these other heathen nations, predominantly led by Esau, Edom, they all came together and they sat down together and they figured, well, okay, what can we do to these people, to for whatever intentions they had. All right, whether it was slavery or mainly it was slavery, but a lot of other things that were done to us. All right, especially in today's times. All right, you think about everything that happens around the world, the food that's given unto our people, the diets that are pushed onto our people. All these things came about because all these different nations, all the elites, all right, they come together, All right. And they've pushed out this agenda throughout the four corners of the earth, led by Esau. All right. To further hinder against, to further come against the Lord's people, which really they're coming up against the Lord. All right, Psalms 83 and verse 4 says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And that right there is the number one agenda. All right. They've done all these things to us throughout the generations to cut us off from being a nation, because they know that if we were to become one nation again, that it would be over for them. All right. They know it would be over. That's why, especially Esau, they see this the Israelites awakening, waking up to this truth as a very major threat. But nonetheless, Esau, all right, and you other heathen nations, y'all gonna have to go through what y'all put us through. All right. It says that the name of Israel may no more be in remembrance, and the Israelites are no longer calling themselves Israel. All right. Verse 5, it says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So now let's get that word confederate. All right. It says they are confederate against thee. And that word there in the Hebrew is Barayath, Baryath, maybe. Baryath. It says covenant, alliance, pledge between men, a treaty. You see? So they've made an alliance. They have consulted together with one consent. They have made an alliance against us, against the Lord. All right. And in reading on, it goes on to tell you some of these nations. All right. It says the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarians, Harganines, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. All right. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hold pinned the children of Lot. Say, Lot, do unto them as unto the Midianites. So you see, all these nations, all right, you got Esau, all right, you got Moab, you got Ammon in there, you got Ishmael in there, you got Amalek, which is the chief house of Edom, all right, you got the Philistines, so you got Ham in there. All right, you got all the other major heathens, man. They all came up against the Israelites. All right, and they brought up, and the Lord used them to bring about our curses. All right, which I'm not going to read all of them. All right, but I'm just going to pick and choose here through this list of curses. All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, and I'm going to start at verse 15. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And that's right, man, because with us going off, with us forgetting our power and going off, and as the scriptures say, when a whoring about, all right, following after these other philosophies, all right, and not following the law, statutes, and commandments, the Lord brought all these curses upon us, okay? And he used the other nations to bring those curses upon us, because the Lord is a king, man. The Lord doesn't have to do anything. The Lord sends his angels, all right, or he'll put his spirit, or he'll put his plan into these heathens' hearts, or into their minds, which is what happened. The Lord send those commandments of what to do down to the heathen, all right? And that's in the scripture. The scripture says that in the middle of the night, in deep sleep, the Most High sealeth his instructions. So when we sleep is when the Lord gives us our instructions for the following day. All right, because popular contrary belief, we do not have free will. All right, these other heathens didn't, these other nations didn't free willy off the top of their dome decide to just put us into slavery. No, it was all according to the Lord's plan. All right, the Lord knew that we would go off, so the Lord already had it to prepare to where these heathens, all right, starting with Esau, Edom, predominantly, that they would bring about these curses upon us. And we're going to read, all right, verse 16, it says, cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kin, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out. So you see, Jake is just all messed up, man. Whether he's out in the city, where he's out in the field working, all right, where you coming or going, man, you done. Jake was done for, man. And when you go into slavery, when you go into the time that Jake was serving slavery, all right, Jake had no break, man. You know, you go back and you think about you read about the slavery of Egypt, which we just got going through the Pesach. All right, you think about the Egyptian captivity. That was a very harsh time for the Israelites, man. We were building up whole cities, man. And you look at those cities now in Egypt; those places are still standing, man. All right, a lot of the monuments that the Israelites built are still up there today, man. But what? Those were all those are all part of the curses, man. And then you go forward into time. Look at the things that we did, man. America was built off the backs of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. Let me let's see. Let's see. Let's read verse 25. It says, Yahweh shall cause thee to be, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 25. It says, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against him, and flee 7 ways before him, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. So you see, that goes into when we were dispersed. All right, the great diaspora, as they call it. All right, but it says, will cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies, because when our enemies came, man, there was no way to get away from these guys, man. Wherever we went, we would catch hell, man. All right, and we were killed every day long. You see that in these movies like 12 Years a Slave. You see it in movies like Django. All right, what's the other one? Birth of a Nation. All right, whenever our people try to get away, man, and they would get caught. They would run into these what they are known today as police officers, which at that time they were called slave catchers. All right, they would run into them, and then it'd be worse for them to have gotten caught by them dudes, man. But what, they would get their punishment from them guys, and then they get took back to the plantation just to either get branded or whipped or whatever it might be that they get that the so-called slave master deemed worthy of their punishment, man. And again, these things are going to be coming against you, damn devils, man. You heathen, especially you, Esau, the red Hebrew Edomite, man. All right, you're gonna get it the worst, man. Because Esau Edom did put us through the worst of the worst, man. You're gonna be getting your face branded, man, when you try to run away. Because you devils, you ain't gonna be. The Lord's gonna put it in your spirit to endure what y'all gonna go through. But boy, oh boy, is it gonna be horrible for y'all, man. You're gonna have some of you Edomites that are gonna try to run away, and guess what? We gonna do something. We gonna get you, man. We're gonna get you. It says, thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kings of the earth. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Exactly. And especially during, let's just talk about slavery during 1800s. You know, 1800s, early 1900s. All right, Jake would just be left on a matter of fact. I seen a picture of Jake being hung, and on his toes they laid a little sign that says, "Do not disturb," or "Do not awake me," something like that. Do not wake me. You know, just nobody gave a damn, man. They would just leave our bodies to rot up on a tree. Birds be pecking at our bodies. All right, and what? Nobody go by and shoot those birds away or try to bury us, man. But guess what? Those curses again are gonna come on you devils, man. Right? And we can't wait, man. We can't wait to let these things happen to you, man. It says, verse 28, skipping down. I'm gonna be skipping around, you know, picking and choosing which ones I want to read. But, you know, brothers, Brothers should know this. If not, then they get to reading Deuteronomy 28, man. This is a very good chapter on identifying who the Israelites are, man. Because a lot of these things you can go throughout history and pinpoint exactly who this was happening to, man. All right. So Deuteronomy 28, verse 28, it says, Yahweh shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And that's what you Edomites are going to have now. You're going to be smitten with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart, man. You guys are going to be losing your damn heads, man, just like Israelites were. It was so bad, Jake would kill themselves, man. All right. Verse 30 says, Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Thine ox shall be slain before. And see, that's what you devils are really gonna get it into, man. Because we gonna have you heathens, all right, build up our kingdom, man. You ain't gonna benefit off of it, man. Just like you did to us. You made us build up we filled up your storehouses with your money, your food, and we were getting to pick the chitlins and weren't even getting paid, man. It says, verse 32, it says, Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. And that's what we're going to do to you Edomites, man. Especially you Edomites, man. We're going to get your kids. All right, we're going to sell you. We're going to sell you, and we're going to separate you, man. We're going to separate you from your kids, man. We're going to separate siblings, man. Just like you did to us, man. And you're going to be crying, but you're going to have to keep putting in that work, man. Just like you did before. Just like you devils did to us, man. You make our lives miserable, man. Used to put things around our necks, iron blocks, all right, all types of contraptions on us where Jake couldn't perform his duties, and you would still expect that man or woman to produce the same amount of work as they did if they didn't have the contraption on them, man. Tying chains from their neck to the ankle, where the ankle was bent back, so they had to work with their, man, you damn devils, man. It says, verse 33, The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away. And you see, that's what we're going to do, man. All this labor that you devils are going to put in, we going to eat it. All right, we going to eat off of your tables this time, man. It ain't going to be the other way around. Or it ain't going to be us putting in all this work for nothing, man. Just for you to live it up. No, it's going to be the other way now, man. The Israelites, we going to be living it up because it's going to be the kingdom of heaven. And we going to have you devils building it up, man. All right. And I can continue going on here. All right. But, the point's made on that. All right. Let me get into a couple other scriptures here. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7. All right. And it says, And the Lord thy power put all these curses. So when you read Deuteronomy 28:15 on down, all those curses is what this is talking about. All right. In verse 7, it says, Deuteronomy 30:7, it says, And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And we read in Psalms chapter 83 how these nations, all right, they all came together and they made an allegiance, all right, an alliance to come up against us. And guess what? Now all those curses are all these things that happen throughout the scriptures to us, to the Israelites, guess what? All these things are vice versa now. Now they're going to be happening onto you, man. That's why when we read scriptures like Isaiah 14:21, when you read it in context, it's talking about the Israelites. But now we know that that's talking about you devils, man. All right, predominantly Esau, because Esau was the one who put us through the worst of the worst, man. Okay. So let me read this again. Deuteronomy 30:7. It says, and Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee, man. All right. And we're going to do all those things, man. All those things that you wanted to do to us. All right. All those things that not wanted, but you did. All right. Such as getting our kids, ripping them in half. All right. You had what they would call sex slave farms, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's how it was worded. All right. But what they would have they would have men and women slaves, all right, in there. And by the time Jake would hit puberty, all right, they would do measurements on Jake, and if he wasn't fully developed, they'd castrate the man. They would castrate the man, all right, just because he wasn't fully developed yet at the age that they deemed where they were supposed to be fully developed, and they would castrate him, all right, and then they sell him off, man. And then the ones that would be according to Esau standards fully developed, what they would do is they would make that man have sex with he would have to have, I can't remember exactly the number, but it was something around like 12 women, all right, or something like that a year, and he had to get them basically pregnant throughout the year, man. So he would have to have 12 children. All right. And I was reading up in that article, and there was actually a slave who had over 200 children, man. And the women, it was the same thing, except the women, they were supposed to have, I can't remember exactly per year, or not per year, but by the time they hit 20, I believe it said, they would start when they would hit puberty, so they would be around like 13, 14, whatever age they were when they hit their puberty. As soon as they hit that puberty, then women, they would have to start knocking kids out, man. By the time they were 20, they had to have at least 4 kids, man. And some of them would be promised freedom. If some of our women would be promised freedom, if they would have, once they reached up to 15 kids. You know, those are things that Esau is doing unto our people. And we're going to do things like that to you. To you people. We're going to make y'all breed. Because what they did, the reasons why Esau would have these so-called sex slave farms was for them to produce more slaves. And see, we're going to do the same thing to you devils, man. We're going to make you have these we're going to make you have more children so you can have more slaves, man. And, all in righteousness, we're not going to be doing no wickedness to you people like y'all did to us, castrating our men, doing all those types of things, man. All right. But we're going to do all those things, man. All right. And matter of fact, let me get, what is it? Psalms 137. And it's, I'm going to start at 7. I'll read on down. This is Psalms 137 and verse 7. It says, "Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation of thereof." All right. It says, and we read that in Psalms 83 when they try to do away with us, man. All right. Verse 8, it says, "O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us." And guess what? The elect, starting with Yahushai, all right, on down, all right, we're going to be very happy rewarding you devils as thou hast served us, man. All right, because we're going to have the pleasure, and Lord willing, I'm one of those men, we're going to have that pleasure of rewarding unto you double, man. All right, rewarding unto you double what you have done unto us. All right, it says, verse 9, "Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones," just like you did to our children, man. There was accounts where they would grab babies, they would right out of the womb and just, crack their heads on the floor, man. Or they would rip them apart, grab the babies by the legs and rip them in half, man. These are all true accounts, man. Look it up. We don't make these things up, man. This is actual American history, man. All right. The women, the so-called good-looking women of the Israelites who were slaves, they would be working inside the house, and if the slave master slept with the woman and got her pregnant, and the wife of the slave master saw when the baby came out that he was a light-skinned baby, meaning you could clearly tell that the husband had laid with the slave woman. The midwife or the slave master's wife would behead the baby, man. And we gonna do things like that to your women, man. We're gonna be grabbing their kids once they come out of the wombs, man. And we're gonna be dashing them against the stones just like you did to us, man. We're gonna be having strength tests with your babies, man. We're gonna be having tossing your babies into the rivers, man, for the gators to get them, man, or the lion pits, or whatever it is that we deem it worthy of. So you devils, man, and what really makes no sense to me is how can you go around thinking that you're not gonna pay for none of the stuff you did, man? First and foremost, the Lord requires that which is past, man. Let me get that. This is I think it's like 15. Okay, kind of, yep. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 15, it says, that which has been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and the most high requireth that which is past. So you see, the Most High requireth that which is past, and what's past is the slavery of the Israelites, man. All these curses that we went through, all right, we already went through them, man. All right, matter of fact, let me get that in Lamentations. Where's Lamentations? Lamentations 4. And I'm just going to read at 21. All right, but the point is in 22. It says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. And you see, that's why we tell you, Edomites, all right, to rejoice, be glad, because your time to reign is about to be over with, and you're about to be made drunk. That cup that you eat, that the Israelites had to drink, all right, is getting that was on us. Guess what? Now it's being passed on to these other nations, predominantly Esau, Edom, and they're being made drunk and they're being made naked because all this truth is coming out. All right, verse 22, it says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. So you see, the Israelites, we've served our punishment. All right, it says, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. Talking about the Lord. The Lord will no longer put our people into slavery again. It says, he will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. So you see, Edom's sins are being discovered now, man. All right, and he says he will visit thine iniquity, because revenge is of the Lord's, man. Revenge is of the Lord. Okay, and it's going to be beautiful when the Lord, what's it called? It's going to be beautiful when the Lord enacts that judgment, man. All right, that vengeance. Okay, and matter of fact, let me get this in 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 6. It says, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. All right, and you see, it's going to be it's a righteous thing with the Lord, with the Most High, to recompense tribulation to them that troubled you. So it's going to be a righteous thing that we're going to be doing. Because you see, you get a lot of people, oh, you think, you had that one lady, can't remember, the lady from InfoWars, all right, that was out there at that one Israelite camp, and she was asking, do you think that's right? Do you think it's right for you to do unto them as they have done to us? Well, guess what? Yes, it is. It is a good thing. It is a righteous thing. We just read it. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 6 is where it's located. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High, to recompense tribulation to them that troubled you. And who troubled us? First and foremost, Esau. And then those other nations that we read about in Psalms chapter 83. Moab, Ammon, Ishmael, Edom, okay? The Philistines, which is Ham, all right? Amalek, the chief house of Esau, all right? All those nations, guess what? They troubled us, man, on every side, okay? They troubled us on any side. And the Lord is we're gonna be, like we read in Ecclesiastes, all right? It said the Lord, the Most High required that which is past, man. And we're gonna be happy. We're gonna be happy to reenact that what's it called? That tribulation, man. We're gonna recompense that tribulation to you. All right, because yeah, the Lord is gonna be the one that is the revenge is of the Lord's. But guess what? It's the Lord. The Lord is gonna use the Israelites. Okay, the Lord is gonna use the Israelites as the his instrument, just like he used these other nations as his instrument to put the curses on us. The Lord is going to use us as instruments to reenact that tribulation onto these other nations. And let me get that. This is Jeremiah 51, and I believe it's 20. Yep. This is Jeremiah 51, verse 20. It says, "Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war will with thee." And this is talking about let me read. Well, I mean, it's talking about Israelites. You can read 19. You can read above. You'll see, 19. I'll just start at 19. Jeremiah 51:19 says, "The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The whole Yahweh of hosts, which is army, is his name. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war," talking about Israel. "For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms." You see? So that's what the Lord is going to do. The Lord is going to reenact his judgment, his vengeance, yeah. But who's he going to use? He's going to use his people. All right, let's read this again. Jeremiah 51:20 says, "Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms." All right, and it says, "And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. And with thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young. And with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid." All right, so just like you devils did unto us, man, you didn't care whether we were an old man or a young baby. You still whipped us, man. You still castrated our young men. You would mess up the uterus of the woman. Just straight mutilate her, man. Even if she was pregnant, you still whip them, man. You just dig a hole in the ground for her belly to fit in while you whip the shit out of her, man. And then not only that, you would whip our people, whether young or old. All right, and then you would whip them, and then you would put all types of shit into the wounds, man, like salt. All different types of things to make the pain even worse. Or if if that didn't suffice, you would even just tie their hands and feet, so they couldn't try to make themselves feel better, man. Try to rub whatever, or whatever Jake would try to do to try to heal himself. You tie their hands and feet so they couldn't do that, man. And it's gonna be so beautiful when the Lord gives us that go, man, to enact his judgment, to enact his vengeance. Because we're going to do unto you as you have done unto us, and we're going to do it doublefold, twofold, man. It says, verse 23, "I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith Yahweh." So you see, the Lord is going to render unto Babylon, all right, which Babylon today is talking about America. Because when you look at the old Babylon, All right, where was the old Babylon? Let's pull up the map here. All right. All right, old Babylon. All right. Oh, look, we're over here. All right, the old Babylon would be somewhere in this area over here, man. Where's the Tigers? You can't really see the rivers, but it's somewhere it's around this area, right around here. All right. All right, and as you can still see, all right, as you can see, still that this area is well inhabited. All right, so we know that it's not talking about the Babylon of ancient. All right, we know that it's talking about the new Babylon, which is what? Here in America, man. All right, this is Babylon the Great. All right, this is that Babylon that is going to receive judgment in 1 hour, man. Okay. It says, let me read that again. And I will render unto Babylon and to them all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith Yahweh. So see, we're going to see all these things come upon our enemies, all right, because of what they've done to us, man. And real quick, I want to get one scripture. Let me see if I can find it. If not, we're going to keep it moving. Oops. It's not 13, but... all right. All right, this is Revelation chapter 18. Got quoted a few times now. This is Revelation 18, verse 6. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double. And again, this is talking about Babylon. All right, Babylon the Great. All right, that whore. All right, it says, reward her even as she, which is talking about America. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled fills her double. And we read in Lamentations that that cup is being passed. And so you see, we drank that cup. All right, but now you're going to have to drink that cup double, man. All right. It says, verse 7, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, because you damn devils, man, you lived so deliciously, man, especially during the slavery. All right. Which you're still living deliciously today, because you're still living off that money, man. You people are still living off you Edomites are still reaping the benefits of slavery. All right. It says, as much as she, how much, this is verse 7, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and she shall see no sorrow. You see, because that's the pride in you devils, man. You think that these things are not going to come upon you because, oh, it's just forgotten. No, that's in the past. Well, guess what? We read Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 15. The Most High required that which is past. God required that which is past, man. So yeah, you're right. It's in the past, but guess what? The Lord required that which is past. So you're gonna go through it, man. And then you're gonna be deleted. All right, then you're gonna be deleted. Literally. All right. And for you coon ass niggas that don't think that these devils are gonna go into slavery and that they're gonna be they're gonna have to go through the things that we went through. Hey, the Most High is just gonna put you to death, man. All right, let me get a couple precepts and I'm gonna close out. All right, this is Proverbs 11 and 21, I believe. Yep. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So you see, no matter how much you coon ass porch monkey niggas, all right, and you spicks, all right, you Theo Tomases, all right, and you Uncle Tomahawks, all right, no matter how much you beg and plead for the so-called white man to be delivered, and no matter how many hallelujahs and Hail Marys you send up to Cesare Borgia, to Serapis Crispy, all right, guess what? It says the wicked shall not be unpunished. That meaning you will be punished. The wicked will be punished. And you niggas that want to be hand in hand with them, well, guess what? I got something for you, man. Because even though it's, even though you think, oh, well, shit, even even if I am wrong, at least I try to be nice and, I'm still going to be okay. Nah, that's not how these things work. This is Luke chapter 19, I believe 27. It says, but those mine enemies who would not that I would reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. And ultimately, if you don't want to put these Edomites into slavery and do unto them as they've done unto us in double fold, then you're the enemy of the Lord, because Yahushua, that's what he's coming back to do. The Lord himself, Yahushua, said that I come not to bring peace, but a sword. All right? And we read in Jeremiah 51 that the Israelites are going to be the Lord's axe, the Lord's weapon of war. All right? We're going to be the Lord's battle axe. All right? And through us, that judgment is going to be enacted, man. Alongside Yahushua. Okay? And you coon-ass niggas and you Theo Tomases and Uncle Tomahawks that want to join hand in hand with the devil, guess what? The wicked is not going to go unpunished, and you niggas are going to be beheaded in front of the Lord. Let me read this again. Luke 19 and 27. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. So any Uncle Toms, Theo Tomases, or Uncle Tomahawks, you want to come up against what the Lord is going to be doing here when he returns, all right, you're going to be beheaded, man. Okay? Because all these things that are written herein shall come to pass, man. And they will. All right? And matter of fact, I'm going to close out on this one, and I'm going to leave you, brothers, with this last precept. This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. All right? And this is Yahushua speaking, who the world literally calls Jesus Christ. All right? This is Matthew 5, verse 17. It says, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. To fulfill what? All that was written in this book. Okay? Because this is the book of the law. This is the book of the prophets. The whole scriptures, man. It says, I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. So all these things that we just read about feeling onto her double, all right, doing all these curses that were done unto us, now they're going to be passed over to, they're going to be enacted in some way or another, man. And we read in Jeremiah 51 that the Lord is going to use us to break in pieces the nations, man. All right, so that will be fulfilled. Verse 18, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. So all the words written in these scriptures will be fulfilled. All of these scriptures will be fulfilled. There's no way of getting around it. No matter how much you try to do a ring around the rosy with these damn nations, try to hold hands to the kingdom come, these heathens will go into slavery. They will get what they deserve, man. They will get what they deserve. They will get rendered unto them what they have done unto us, man. They will be recompensed for that. All right. So with that, Lord willing, you brothers were edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, and Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, who are diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. Until next time, I say Shalom.